Hello everyone. A warm good morning to everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank the whole uh, organizing team, the Swecha team, and all the colleges, the all the 20 plus 20 colleges and the 60 plus faculties and the 600 plus teams that have 600 plus teams and also the 2000 plus students who are actively currently participating and have joined this event, the AA Hack Day event, right? So, and a warm welcome to everyone. So, just to give you a brief about what this event is. So, and I want to, so this is a hackathon that we are trying to uh, we are trying to achieve this for the society, right? This is a for the society. Okay, so and I want to extend my uh, I want to extend my hearty wishes and for everyone who has actually taken time on this Saturday morning and who are actually putting in their efforts to make this event possible. And on that note, so we have some eminent speakers and also distinguished personalities, industry figures that are going to address this first session. This is how this session is going to start. Uh, the firstly, as in we will have sessions by the eminent panelists, then we will followed by as in the introductory session on the AI, wherein we will discuss about the AI tools and techniques, and then we can uh, kick off this session, okay, as in the hackathon event. So on that note, uh, uh, yes. So what I so okay. Okay. And first of all, and also thank you very much, Bhavesh sir. We have the Bhavesh Mishra sir, who has joined us to give share his few thoughts on as in on this AI, taking some time uh, um, to address all us mm, the students here. Okay, so sir, if you may, can you please uh, turn on your video and please share a few thoughts on as in on this, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Sasi. Am I audible?
Yes,
Hello.
Bhaskar, you're audible.
Yeah. So basically, I was supposed to attend physically, but because of a meeting, no, I have to travel and I could not attend. But no, thank you. Thanks to the entire Swecha team. I think we were planning it for last the couple of months, and it's great to see that today we are actually launching it. So just
I
to
hope
share,
you are going to enjoy today. Thank you.
yeah. So just to share a few points, if you look at the whole history of technology for last 100 years, we see that there have been couple of very pivotal moments. So I'll just describe few of them. So one would be the discovery of photoelectric effect that led to whole the the birth of quantum mechanics and leading to discovery of transistor, that the period between 1905 to 1947, 1948. Then comes the semiconductor technology in 1970s, maybe the advent of internet in 1990s, and now I would say we are in that fourth phase of transition of technology in the field of AI. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, for the second phase, that semiconductor technology, India could not reap great dividends out of it. But when the third phase came for the internet, I think we were one of the biggest beneficiaries, and Hyderabad being the or IT capital of the world. If you have followed the news item, you would have seen that in the recent Davos summit also, giants like AWS or big companies, they have announced investments close to 1 lakh crore in our state of Telangana. So that has been a great achievement, and I think it has been continuing for last 20-25 years. Now coming to the part of AI, so uh, I think every day, if you follow, some important threads on Twitter, you will find one or the other model, keeps popping up. So a day before yesterday, also we had an open source model called DeepSeek from a Chinese company. The question is that if China can do it, so can India, because in IT field we have the big companies. If you look at the CEOs who are there, most of them are from Indian background only. So how do we basically leverage this potential of AI for solving the challenges that we have? For example, taking case of India would be that you have challenges in the field of education, environment, urban mobility, transport, and several other use cases. So I know I would like to say that yesterday also we had a meeting with our transport department officials where they gave us a very interesting case study in the field of how to basically detect the vehicle numbers of the vehicles or the big trucks that pass through the checkpost, and how do you basically integrate with their Vahan portal to detect whether there are some violations or not. Then we got one use case study from education department in terms of how do you capture attendance of all the students using OpenCV or convoluted neural network technology, so that you without even GPU also you are able to capture your attendance. So on day-to-day basis, we keep getting requirement, and I think it's the right time for the students also, because we have this startup first policy also, that if a startup has a good solution that actually wants to work with government sector, we are most happy to work with them. And in the month of September, we had a AI strategic release of AI strategic roadmap, where skilling is one of the important key pillar that we are working on. I think we are thankful to Swecha for taking this initiative forward in a short span of time. So now, question would be that how does a hackathon actually help? So if you look at the uh, history of hackathon, also you would find that Twitter, that is one of the most important social media platform that we all use, came out of a hackathon only. So there was a company called ODO earlier. It's spelled ODEO, and they had a hackathon way back in 2006-7, I think. And the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, at that point of time, he came up with this concept that he wanted to basically start a social media platform which will have only 140 characters. Then there is a very interesting tool called Zapier. It's spelled ZAPIER. That also came through a hackathon only. So hackathon is basically gives you this infinite canvas where you can do whatever you want, and there is no pressure of any evaluation that your marks would be cut or you would be judged by someone else. So I remember I also attended one hackathon way back in 2012 where we were given some data of health data of World Health Organization. We were asked to do some kind of visualization. So in just one day, our team was able to learn. There's a tool called processing. It's a JavaScript library called processing JS, and so we were able to basically learn that library within 24 hours to 48 hours itself. And I think although we did not win the prize, we see winning is immaterial, but we get some recognition in terms of honorable mention category. But okay, that was quite a good learning experience for our team. So my message to all the participants would be that uh, using basic tools like Python, your machine learning algorithms. There are so many open source technology that we have. We can actually achieve a lot. So first thing would be to equip ourselves so that we are able to solve these challenges that we have. And second would be that maybe the students participating today, we can have good startups coming out from Hyderabad ecosystem in next couple of years. And if you require any support from government side, representative of Telangana government and ITC department, we would be more than happy to extend. So thank you, Swecha, for inviting me, and good wishes to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your insights and for actually taking in the some time in this busy schedule to share your few thoughts and giving us examples such as the Twitter and the Zapier, so which are billion-dollar companies right now, right? So and thank you for your inspirational words as to as in how the student should go ahead and what they should target, especially in this hackathon, and also for all those guidance and the support that you have been giving us and providing us. Thank you very much. There. So
Yeah, thanks.
next up, what I would like to introduce are one of the Sutradharis here, and Swecha, and the daring and dashing personality, and who never hesitates to put down his thoughts gracefully. So I would like to call the CEO of Ozonetel Communications, Chaitanya Garu, to talk a few lines about the AI hack and hacker. Yes.
You're not audible.
Chaitanya, one moment. We're not able to hear you.
Because we have startup first policy also, that if a startup has a good solution that actually wants to work with the government sector, we are most happy to work with them. And in the month of September, we have a AI strategic release of AI strategic roadmap, where skilling is one of the important key pillars that we are working on.
Yes, kept it slow.
We are thankful to Swecha for taking this initiative forward.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. I think there was some problem with the mic. Hope I'm audible now. So, as I said, thanks Bhavesh Garu for giving the talk. So I'll just try to give a brief about why we are doing this AI Hack Days, and then we can move on to the actual building of the products rather than just people talking, right? So, as I said, we are in a new age right now, whether we like it or not, and we are in the age of AI. Now, every country, for example, just 2 days back when Trump became the president of the US, the first announcement he made was that they're going to put $500 billion building an AI data center. And just before, and the reason they did that was that 1 week back, China released an open source model called DeepSeek, which Bhavesh Garu was also mentioning. So this is an arms race almost, in a sense that whoever can build the best AI for themselves is going to win the next decade or next century, in fact. So it is up to us, and as students, you are the future. So you need to build these AI solutions for India. Otherwise, we will become just users of technology rather than creators of technology. So with that in mind, we sort of got together, we spoke with the government, we spoke with IIIT, Swecha, and we were discussing how do we encourage and get students enthused about working with AI. So when we talk about AI hack days or hackathons, most people have an image where they can just go and write code. We want this to be a little bit different. Obviously, coding is the major aspect that we're trying to do. But as I was telling the last week when I was talking to some people, see, all of us here, all of us students, we may not have chosen engineering as our first choice. We took it as our parents asked us to take it, and we have become engineers. But in our heart, we may be a poet, we may be an artist, we may be a songwriter, we may be a movie creator. Now, all of that is possible with AI. So you don't need to think about just building or coding. You can use tools to hack and create your own song, let us say. Can you create a music video? Can you create art? There are tools out there. The mentors will help you with those tools. They will show you tools like Suno.ai if you want for songs, Midjourney for art, Kling.ai for video. So all these are available. Now your creativity is the main blocker. What can you create using AI and show to the world that we are the best at using AI? That's the first thing. Second thing, our main goal is that we, Swecha and AIIT have come together to form Viswam, which is the Center of Excellence for the Global South in AI. We have a mission to build LLM for India. So now US already has the LLMs, as you know, with OpenAI and Microsoft and all that. China also has their own LLM now with DeepSeek and all that. Now we are lacking. We need to build our own LLMs, and we need the best people for that. This hack day, we want to work with you, figure out, and we want volunteers who come forward, build, play with the AI, and whoever likes working with AI, please reach out to us and we will work with you. And the hope is that within the next 1 year, we come with our own LLM, with our own approach. So I think these are the two main things that we are looking at. We want students to show this is the first step. And this, by the way, I don't think anywhere in the world something like this has happened. So you're all part of something big, something great. So you have signed up to build and show to the world that India and especially Telangana has the talent, has the people to actually build something on AI and show that. So please take this opportunity, spend time with us, pester your mentors, push them, ask them questions, don't hesitate. We need to take the lead in this. So please work hard and reach out to your mentors, and let's make sure that we build something great using AI in this AI hack day. Thank you, everyone. Continue, you can continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your advices, and especially the call out from the students to actually be a part of this broader initiative. And also, as in, this is the first of its kind in the sense that it is the people centric, as you have taught, as you have said. So it is something built by the people for the people, and which actually drives the ethos of our as an organization, Swecha or the Viswam at large, and it also shows as in how we are democratizing AI in the real sense. And thank you for sharing that information. And on that note, I will also like now to hand over hand over the stage for a couple of minutes and to have his um, share of thought and his words. And I would like to introduce Professor Ramesh Loganathan sir. So he is a professor of co-innovation and research outreach at AIIT Hyderabad, and as in we affectionately call him Thalaiva sir, and that's because of his the guidance and the force as in that he has encourages us to do and to push our limits, right? And he is the main person who has actually been the the person behind this AI hack day, the whole person behind this, the prime person, the important figure for the AI Spark Camp and on this. So on that note, as in, Ramesh sir, please uh, share us a few thoughts on for the students.
Thank you, Sashi. Very happy to be here. It's a culmination of many, many other things that's been happening. Started with Swecha for many, many years, and specifically on AI in the last couple of years. And we got connected from AIIT about a year back. and connected how. I think Swecha has brought a new lease of activity to what we were doing at Triple IT. And I hope Triple IT has done the same to Swecha. And the outcome is very visible. Viswam.ai in less than 9 months, and not a center that's announced first, right, and then actions. It's the other way around. All the activities were happening, and then we decide kind of organize that into a center. And Viswam, you see the logo behind Kiran. That's the logo, and so the center is in Triple IT. And the whole idea is like Sashi already said, democratizing AI, right? We call it the 6 billion challenge. If OpenAI could throw 6 billion at the problem, are there other ways of doing the same thing? Which low resource cultures, low digital resource cultures, like all the Indian languages, many of the South, kind of the global South cultures and languages have this problem. Very little digital resources available. Now, of course, we're not going to be the models where you search and find information off the internet, but something as simple as you're saying something in Telugu, we would like to see it sound like Telugu, right? And feel like Telugu, not like some English sentence translated to Telugu. Now, for such things, we need our own models. And that's the endeavor to start with. And then we're also hoping we can extend, starting with the foundational model, Telugu LLM. We want to go, we're also having an OCR data set. You can't read printed Telugu well today, right? Technology doesn't exist. So there's a lot of data available. We're trying to see, like, can we build better models for OCR, for reading Telugu text. And we hope soon, maybe this summer itself, extend the efforts to include maybe agri, maybe grassroots health and such. So the idea is crowdsource the data collection and do digital first data, right? There's not data that's on the internet already that we're harvesting and compiling into data sets and building models, because that we don't have our local data much on the internet. So compile the data, collect, compile, kind of organize, label, create the data sets, and build some models out of it. So that's the endeavor, kind of full pipeline, and do this through community sourcing. Of course, we'll use, we're calling it, like, we still haven't decided what to call it. Already Swecha has these Swecha clubs in various colleges. We're trying to extend that or create more. Maybe we'll call it AI Data Labs or something like that. We'll figure out a name, but we want to create a network of clubs, because the idea is to do it community source. Now, you can't go to a farmer and ask them for, anybody cannot go, right? Now, how do you do it at scale if you have to collect it across the two Telugu states to begin with? We need a lot of people on the ground, and that's why we hope the clubs and the students will help. Not only will they be like, we had 30,000 internships that we completed last summer, and this summer we hope to do 100,000 internships, 1 month internships, AI internships. And the idea is that, like, you understand the whole process from the first principles. You're not taking some model on Kaggle or like or from Hugging Face and just verifying it and building something. This is ground up. You'll start with collecting data through interviews or however, or taking pictures, organizing the data, get the data sets, label it, build the models. You get a whole cycle, whole life cycle experience. So it's going to be very, very rich. And those are the jobs, right? The new jobs that will come up. I don't believe jobs will go away. That is, AI is way overrated. Jobs are not going to go away, but new jobs will come up. It could be anywhere from labeling search, creating data sets, to kind of creating models, to creating APIs around it, to using those APIs. The different kind of solutions that will come up, different kind of skills that will be needed. We hope through these internships, we can create those skills, like the whole pipeline, right? But the idea is that, like, everybody should understand the pipeline, and in that process, we're creating the whole models, data sets, and models. And this hack day is an exercise in that direction. We realize that, like, not enough worried about yeah, everybody wants an AI job, right? But we want excitement around AI. We want excitement around technology, and that is not happening that easily. And so we said, why not we do this as a kind of, the finale will be at the AIDays conference in April, and it's a multi-stage, like Chaitanya already said. It is not just a one-day fun exercise, right? It's a multi-stage exercise. We hope at the end of it, right, we will get few hundred very, very serious developers that have built some cool apps, right, using the work done in these next right? So while the whole exercise of Viswam itself is the larger scale AI pipeline, and the summer internships is towards that pipeline, but we thought this should be a teaser to excite the students, to get more students want to come and do it, right? I think if we can inspire the students to do it, whether they come to our Viswam's 100,000 internships or go somewhere else or do something by themselves, they will do very well. I think all we need is to inspire them to trigger the spark. So we hope this AIDays conference, right, this hackathon will trigger that spark. Starting with the hackathon that you're doing in your college, each of your colleges today, tomorrow, and then we have multi-stage after that, right? And we hope to get as many as possible. We're hoping at least 300 to 500 students come to the grand finale, which will be at the conference. We're calling it the Spark Camp. It'll be a tent camp, right? And so we hope to do the finale there. And those should be 500 seriously kick-ass developers, right? And we want to put up whatever the apps built at that finale will go up onto an app store, right? Then we want to publicize the app store, and so we hope to get something very tangible out of this itself. But the intangible value is the spark that we will trigger in each of you. That's what we hope, regardless of which stage, until which stage you progress. Even just today should be exciting enough that you want to do more, right? And some will go to the next stage, some will go to the following stage, and so on till the final stage. But regardless of which stage you go to, we hope that we have sparked, lit a fire, right, in each one of you. That's the hope. We can do it. Now, China has shown that like you don't need 6 billion to build such models, and that still won't work for us. We have to find our own ways of creating our own culture and language elements into these models, and that's the endeavor. And we can do this only if all of you participate. We can't do it any other way because we don't have 6 billion to throw at this, right? Nobody's funding that kind of exercise. And the grassroots, there are some very nice government initiatives. It's still not 6 billion, but decent money available. At least few hundred crores. In some cases, maybe a few thousand crores is available. Still very small. Like if you look at it in billions, it's not even quarter billion on the whole. All of the initiatives put together, but none of them are looking at creating foundational data. And that is one key missing piece, which we hope to kind of address through this community effort, both from students. We also plan to have engagement with the industry, get people to come and contribute. There are open source enthusiasts. We have to kind of somehow, again, like we're doing with you through this hackathon, we hope to do something similar with the industry where we excite them about this and make them come and participate. And so thank you. Thanks to all the college, the leadership in each of the colleges for making this happen. And thanks all of you for coming, the students. And we look forward to seeing some exciting stuff getting built through this whole process this weekend and also in the subsequent rounds. So wish you all the very best. And thank you. Sashi, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and also explaining us the importance of the foundational models as in, and the importance of having rich data sources as in which most unfortunately most of the Indian languages and are having despite the rich culture that we have from thousands of years. And thank you for actually sharing that information. And on that note, I also want to thank all the colleges, as in most of the colleges here, have extended their support in and solidarity in actually sharing that information, as in be it Chandamama Kadalu or all the initiatives that we have been part of in the last 1 year, one year or so. And thank you for sharing your support. Right, we also expect that as in that momentum, it's just like a start, and that momentum picks up and you participate with more vigorously, and take this make this hackathon and also the future things that we have planned to a greater scale. And thank you very much, sir. And also the spark, yes, it's obviously a spark. This I hope that this sparks catches into a wildfire soon, and we would set the whole global agenda on fire, as in the whole global AI on fire. As in, that's on that note. Thank you, sir. And now I would like to call our Saradhi, the vision, is it the founder and chairman of Swecha, and he has as in our Kiran Chandra Anna, and he was also the center head for Viswam, and he has taken a lot of initiatives in guiding us, in helping us, and also as in he's the first person who has actually come up with the Telugu font and actually making the Telugu OS possible. Okay, and he has done a lot of initiatives, and he has taken up a lot of projects in his 20 plus years of experiences in the IT industry. Okay, now I would request him to share his few thoughts and advice for the students. Uh, Thank you. Over to you, Kiran.
Thank you, Kaundinya. and I see that I'm really happy to be here with you all. On this February, we'll be having the 20th year of the release of the operating system, or you could say Swecha would be 20 years young. So Swecha is actually getting into its days of its youth, and at this epoch, we are actually taking up the second challenge or the next wave of the industrial revolution and taking it head on. And I think this, as Ramesh Garu has correctly pointed out, the uh, preceding speakers from Bhavesh, where he said that he wants to see a set of solutions like Twitter to come out of this entire hack days and the importance of hackathons. Chaitanya, with his determination and all, has said that we have everything now, let's build the LLM for our own side. And I think this we are in a historical epoch where we have a correct combination of a right minds in industry, bright minds in the academia, and the whole of the community coming together and working out something to basically take forward the sovereign or the sovereignty aspects uh, into a very stronger way. Because you see, when you speak about AI, what we are trying to do is till now, since the epoch of the early man till the dawn of this era, we have always been outsourcing our human labor or all the physical labor that we are supposed to do. This is an era when we are just trying to outsource some of the eh, thought processes, some of the due diligence, some of the decision making processes with intuition and everything to the machines. And I think this is a great opportunity for all the students to be exposed to AI, look at it, work around it, break a certain things down, build something up from them, and then basically be a part of this entire thing. I think so all the students sitting there should be lining what Professor Ramesh has said. We want to have all the kick-ass developers to be there. So I think all the people who are participating here should be there for the Spark Camp. Your solutioning should be so bright and good. Don't even think about that you are a bright student in the class or not a bright student in the class. This technology, when it comes, it is giving everyone an equal opportunity. If I were a bad student in English but I still had conceptual clarity, now I can use the LLMs to correct my English, and I can correct my conceptual clarity. So this is a tech that is leveling a lot of things, making you all equals. So all the spark minds, what you need to do is ignite the spark. And once you ignite the spark, there is going to be light, and the light is going to show the path for the world. And I think this is a hackathon that is going to pave a way for such. And I wish that all the participants here bring out solutions which effectively are going to ensure that, and you all will be making things so hard for all the evaluators that they would be finding it difficult to eliminate anyone amongst you all. And I think I wish that you give such a challenge to all the developers and mentors who are going to actually evaluate this. And I wish all of you a grand success. And I wish to see a lot of apps coming out by evening or maybe in a day or two, all the evaluations are done and we're going to push them into the pipeline. And thank you, Kaundinya, for calling me in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kiran. So, and thank you for actually sharing the prerequisites for this hackathon for setting the ground. So, as rightly pointed by Kiran, the only prerequisite is the right state of mind and your willingness to actually solve the problems, right? The hackathon. So, on that note, we will take it to the next stage of as in the next session. So, we will have a very quick session and on this the AI tools and probably a brief agenda as to as in what can be expected from this. What are you expected to do and what is our vision and mission, and then some as in have a session on the AI tools right now. Okay, so and I would request again all the faculty members as an that I hope that the students have a way of actually having this session as an on their mobiles also, as in they can also see on their mobiles, right? And if you have any questions, please do reach out to the mentors who mentors and faculty in charges and in faculties in charge at your respective campus, and so that we will revert back to you soon. Okay, so on that note, let me So I hope my the presentation is visible, and for this AI hack day is visible. If not, please let me know.
We can
Presentation.
see it from India.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation, Bharat. So and first of all, thanks to the collaborators who have actually made this event possible. As in, thanks to Ramesh Loganathan sir and the IIIT Hyderabad, Ozonetel Task, Bhavesh Mishra sir and Task, as in, and DigiQuanta and Tech Vedika. So now let's first understand what is, as in, again, I might be probably reiterating it. So it's a national level hackathon where we want to build some innovative applications using cutting edge AI tools. Okay, the central theme for this is the artificial intelligence for the society, as in what where we want to empower the future through heritage, innovation, and inclusion. Okay, so as pointed out by the speakers of today's session, the vision is that we have a people-centric AI development, as in the human-centered and a people-centered AI approach. Okay, that's the whole vision and the mission for this hack day and the hackathon. Okay, and what are the theme tracks that you'll be having? So we will be having four broad themes. The first one is education, agriculture, healthcare, and the last one is creative technology. When we say creative technology, what are the subdomains? Digital art, video generation, audio generation, and the story generation. Okay, so in this, again, when we say the themes and the problem statements, you can choose a list of problems, as in the problem statements under any of these domains. If you don't have a problem statement, some of the problem statements are provided to you, which I'll be sharing shortly, as in it is already also available on the website. And if that is not there, if you think that you have your own problem statement that you want to work upon, you can actually take up that problem statement and actually and start working on the building the solution. Okay, so what are you going to build? What will you build in during this hackathon is working prototypes for proof of concepts. Okay, and as in the timeline has, it's not there, as in you have time until tomorrow 11 p.m. to actually work on it and submit your submissions. And the idea here is we have a practical and ready to deploy solutions, and we have the focus is on how we are going to solve the problem. Okay, the creative problem solving. Okay, and as noted by Kiran also, as in the idea here is we don't need any AI development, as in we are going to teach you, and we can leverage AI tools. We can leverage AI tools to actually make that possible. How do you make a creative idea out of how do you make the process feasible with the idea that you guys are going to have? And the format, as you know, as in 3 members per team, and that's all. Okay, and one more clarification here is that you can use any AI tools. There is no limit on the kind of AI tools that you can be using. You can use any AI tool to make the proof of concept and to come up with the working prototype. Okay, and yes, and the evaluation criteria, as in a quick sneak peek into the evaluation criteria. So on the innovation and as in creativity and the feasibility and the real world application takes a very high importance. The 35% and 30% respectively, and technical implementation and presentation clarity takes 20% and 15%. Okay, and some tips as to how to win this hackathon is like you need a great strategy, but again, as an even on the great area, the more emphasis is on strategy, as in how can we actually rapidly execute and build a functional prototype and move on to different approach when we know that things are not working, right? So as in probably if you want to have some rapid prototyping and you need to have the divide and conquer kind of approach, so that you can try out on different things very quickly and come up with a solution. Okay, and the requirements, I think I have from the video, as in I can figure that out that all of you have the laptop and desktops with internet access. and the basic tools, and internet access is required to access the tools. And if you have some of the tools handy, for example, like Olama, it's great. Okay, and on that note, I would quickly jump on to the kickoff session. Okay, as in to understand that, as in how do we use AI tools, and how do we leverage them to our own advantage. And one of the important things that I want to call out here is it's called prompt engineering. Okay, so what is a prompt? Again, a prompt is the way of interacting with the artificial intelligence models. Okay, so it's as if you're talking to AI. Okay, and if you are able to explain your ideas properly, if you are able to explain in a clear cut fashion in which the AI understands, the task gets tremendously simple for you. Okay, now when we say how do we talk to it, right? There are a few uh, cheat sheet kind of things, as in wherein you need to keep in mind, and that is what we trying to address here. Okay, so think of prompts as your secret spell, some magic. Okay, and the better the spell, as in the stronger the magic. Okay, that's the idea. So now, what are the key ingredients to it for any prompt? Is clear language. The language should be clear and unambiguous. So one example is um, let's say, what is this resume, or help me draft a resume, right? So that is there, but the explicit instructions are missing. So let's say, help me draft a resume in 500 words, and the tone should be professional, and you need to give some more additional information. Okay, and which is called context, right? So because let's say if we are asking artificial intelligence or anything to come up with a resume, then whose resume is it? What is his experience? As in, let's say if I want to ask AI to build my own resume, Kaundiny's resume, what does Kaundinya do? Who is Kaundinya? And what is his prior experience? I need to give all those details. That is called context, right? So the key ingredients in any prompt is clear language, explicit instructions, and context. Okay. So let's say if you have these things handy, we will dive in a little deeper. What are the prompt components? One is context. Okay, what is it that we are trying to do achieve? What is it that we are, some background to the problem statement, or some background to what we are trying to achieve. Instruction is, what is it that we are trying to achieve? For example, here in this example shown here, uh, what we are trying to do is we are trying to classify, we are trying to classify the sentiment, right? So what we are saying here is classify given text into positive, negative, or neutral. That is the instruction, right? And what is the context? The context is that we are asking AI to put on the thinking hat of an expert sentiment analyzer. As in, we are giving some context that, hey, or we can also say that I want to, I want your help, or to work function as a expert sentiment analyzer. Okay, that is the context. That is what we are trying to achieve. And instruction is, I want to classify into sentiments, only three sentiments for now: positive, negative, or neutral. It can be any thing, right? So we need to give proper instructions. And the input data is, finally we say that, as in, I enjoy prompt engineering, as in, then then the sentiment as an output indicator, saying that what is this now, and what is the sentiment that I want. Okay, and we can give additional instructions also, saying that what is the format that we want our output to be. Is it going to be JSON format? Is it going to be a markdown format? If we tell that, as in, it gets clear for the artificial intelligence models to understand. Okay, so this is vague, as in, you may ask me, hey, Kaundinya, this is fine, but how can I use this for my own hackathon, right? As in, now that we are doing a hackathon, we want to build a solution, and what does prompts have to do with all of this, right? So the idea here is, we can also use this knowledge to write better prompts for actually leveraging AI to build our solutions. One is, let's say, I want to evaluate my strategy, right? The solution approach. Then how would I draft the prompt is given in the right. So help me with a prompt to critically analyze. If I want to make the AI model to understand from the various standpoints and evaluate the solution approach, and as in how is the approach I wanted to evaluate, and not only do I need to evaluate, I want the feedback, as in why is it bad. Okay, so that's why I added the sentence called along with the feedback to the AI hackathon, and we need to insert the problem statement. So whatever the problem statement that you are working, probably if you write this problem statement as in, then it is able to understand it, and it will be able to critically analyze from its own learning and the standpoint. Okay. So likewise, if I want to say that again, analyze the code, right? If I want to go into specifics, the more the details, the more the context, the better the output, and or the better the magic, right? So this is what is all about the prompt engineering. And what are some of the prompt engineering techniques? Is this the only way? No, as in that's whatever we have seen earlier. It's called zero shot prompting, as in we ask a question, we anticipate that they knows the answer, the LLM knows the answer, and we get the information, right? So uh, now there are some other prompting techniques. That's called for the language model to understand the question better and to answer our thing, as in to answer our question better. Okay, one example is few shot prompting. um, think of it in a fashion that let's say when you're teaching your own siblings or your younger brothers and sisters, right? So if they don't understand, we give a lot of examples for to illustrate a point, to understand the concept, right? So similarly, we say few shot prompting is we give a lot of examples, a couple of examples, and say to the LLM, hey, this is the kind of response that I am want, right? And then we get the answer. So for similar, one example here is that classify the following sentence based on sentiment. Again, what is the task that we are trying to achieve? Sentiment analysis again. And if again, there are three things: positive, negative, and neutral in the previous example. But I want only one word sentence, one word instead of a sentence, right? So that's the output that I am desiring, and not a lengthy answer as to why is it positive, what is it all about for a given sentence. I don't want it because in my solution, in one word, I can actually do a regex and get the strip the word, and I can use it in the further processing, in the further pipelining, right? So that's why I give that what a beautiful day, sentiment is positive. And again, the weather is quite bad today, the weather is negative, and I have a desk in my living room, as in the sorry, the my bad, the sentiment is neutral, the sentiment is positive, negative, and neutral. We are providing examples like this. And finally, when I say a sentence, I am so excited about the weekend, the output is given in this fashion: sentiment is positive. So that's how we are teaching LLMs to adhere to a particular output format that we want. This is one kind of prompting technique. The other kind of prompting technique is the chain of thought prompting. What does a chain of thought prompting do? It tries, it asks the language model to reason, uh, to reason out. It enables the complex reasoning capabilities, right? And how is it possible? By asking it to think step by step, and again further recheck before giving the answer. Okay, let's see an example. Okay, so now we have given some question, and we want the model to answer. Okay, and with the chain of thought prompting, as in what happens is, uh, for the same question, as in it actually gives the answers. And as you can see, we will say that, hey, hey language model, as in when let's say hey GPT or hey Gemini or hey Olama, um, you just add some context before this, say asking to critically evaluate and reason before giving the answer. I'll show you some more examples in this prompt engineering guide. Prompt engineering guide has some examples also. And after employing the chain of thought prompting, we notice that because of the step-by-step intermediate reasoning steps, we are able to come to the correct answer. Okay, so the same question, when we have done the zero prompting, it said the answer is 11. We are not sure how it reached to 11. Similarly, the answer is 27 here, as in we are not sure how the answer is 27. We give an example. It's a combination of chain of thought and the few shot prompting. As in, if we take this as a one shot example, we say that Roger started with 5 balls, 2 cans of 3 tennis balls is 6, as in we're just giving the math, and so that the answer is 11. Now LLM picks this up. It understands that it needs to reason out in a step-by-step manner, and finally it gives us the answer as this answer. Okay, so, and I hope that this deck has already been shared with you. If not, please reach out to the mentors or the faculties in charge, and they will share this deck so that you can quickly hyperlink and you don't need to type in anything. Okay, and so when we click on this prompt engineering guide, right? Uh, just a minute. So this prompt engineering guide, it has all the techniques. It's not just zero shot or few shot prompting. It has also the chain of thought prompting and other information. As in, let's say, for example, how do you chain the prompts and other information that is possible. As in, if you are interested and if you want to learn details, then more details, and if you are curious, then please go ahead and read about those details. Okay, and let's now go into, as in, let's say you are not a programmer, you don't know how to code, but still, how do you develop a prototype, right? And how do you use a lot of tools that are how do you develop a solution, and is it only for programmers? No. So there are some low code no code platforms, AI platforms also, that are popular out there. Okay, one such popular low code no code platform is the Diffie.ai. So just a minute. Let's go into the Diffie.ai. It's as simple as you go into this Diffie.ai, okay, and you click on get started. Okay, now if you want to develop locally, you can download and install this Diffie.ai on your local, or else what you can do is you can also sign up with your email or Google. Okay, so for example, I'll go ahead with I'll create one for myself, and it sends a verification code. I'll quickly give the verification code. Okay, now that I have this thing, so we have some things known as in chatbot, and there are some things known as agents, and we can also create a workflow out of this. Okay, and as in, again, there is a dashboard in the as dashboard of sorts, and wherein we can create from scratch. Nothing is there, or we can create from a template. When you go into create from a template, okay, so there are a lot of templates that are available. For example, let's go with GPT researcher in English. Okay, this is a workflow. Let's see what does this workflow do. I'm saying this as, again, in English, the GPT researcher, and I'm going to say that this is a researcher, and let's say create. Okay, so once I create, as in, it has a workflow, right? When which starts with an example that, hey, we have a title and a language as in input fields, and other fields as in the system ID, user ID, and app ID, or other user fields that are that are also available. And what I am using is I am going to use the model called Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay, is this the only model that we are going to use? No, we can also search models here. As in we can go with the GPT models, or I'm not sure if Gemini is there. As in we can, as in the idea here is we can replace these models as simple as by clicking on a button. And if you are hosting it locally, you can also use the local models such as Olama models. Okay, and we are going to set the context, and whatever we have just spoken about, we can write the instructions. So, for example, here what we are trying to do is we are trying to see generate a series of appropriate search engine queries to break down questions based on user inquiries. So, what we are trying to do is we, since it's a researcher, uh, based on the user questions, we are trying to create the queries that needs to be searched on the web application, right? So that is what it is trying to do. And when asked, the user asks, as in if the user question is, again, this is an example of a few short prompting example is, user asks how to learn programming, and then what we are going to search is programming learning methods and programming tutorials for beginners. Similarly, when the user asks to understand the latest technology trends, again, technology trends in 2021 or 2025 for that matter, or latest technological news are some of the key things. Okay, now we are providing the context. One is what is the task that we are going to do, uh, right? And we are giving some examples, and then we are also giving some instructions, as in what should the input be like, and what should be the uh, uh, as in relevant keywords or phrases, and other instructions, as in what should be the output format. Output is only separated by commas, right? All these things are given. Now this is the LLM, and how do you okay, I'll come back to this later on. So now again, now that this step is done, now the input requirement for iteration is an array. Okay, because it's an array, we are going to create a node to extract subqueries, and we need to get each subquery. And we it's just we have taken a code, and we have, if we want to write a code, embed it into this, as in we can use this, or we can ignore this component. Okay, and how is this again? Now we are again sending this to another LLM, and we are extracting the parameters. Again, we are sending this back to a series of LLMs, and and finally we are getting all the information, and we are converting the template, and we are ending it. Okay, so this is, and the idea here is we can leverage the pre-existing workflow, modify it, and change it and update it to our own use case. So for example, let's say I want to add a new component. Okay, so, and I simply click on add, and let's say if I want to write an if else condition. Okay, there's logic, as in the idea here is, if this happens, let's say if there are no keywords, okay, then what should we do? And if there are no if there are keywords, what should it do? Okay, then if only if there are keywords, I want it to go to the next process. Okay, let's say, oh, okay, only if there are keywords, let's go to the next process. Else, let's say I want to end. Now a workflow has been developed just by clicking on the buttons, and your solution, whatever the problem statement that you are working on, is kind of done. Okay, so let's say within LLM, I am going to again give the system instructions, and what are the variables that I can expect, and what are the output variables that we are using. And it's the vision here means that vision capabilities. Okay, so some of the models have vision capabilities, so that is easy. So it is as simple as dragging and dropping, and once this is done, we will run it. We will click on run. Now that the API keys are not provided, so it won't run. So how do we provide the API keys, API access? Here the information and everything is given in this particular API access uh, site, and that's how these things are. And once this is done, so we will click on run, and we will give some title. Hey, what is the title all about? Let's say hackathon. Okay, and what is the language, that is English. And when we click on run, as in it, because the API key is not there, so we will get some errors. But once the credentials, right, it will. It's a good way that we understand the error handling mechanism also directly in this Diffie.ai. So once everything is done, once you think that this is ready, this workflow is ready and is working properly, and what you can do is you can go ahead and publish this. Once you click on publish, it will uh, okay. Once you give the necessary authorization and everything, you can. The idea here is you can actually publish and host it as an host it also. That's all the things that are possible. And also, one good thing is we also have tools, a lot of tools that are available. Let's say I want to um, in my workflow, I want to do a Google search and then followed by something. Okay, I want to do a perplexity search and do something, or I want to, okay, so and I want to generate an image, or I want to do a stability thing and perform. Okay, I want to use GitHub to perform something. There are already a lot of tools available. As in, for example, there is a transcript given in YouTube video. I want to get a transcript. All these things are made possible as in this low code no code editor. That's pretty simple, right? So likewise, there are other tools also. Flowwise AI is another one, and there are some uh, as in low code no code, sorry, in some AI editors also. As in, for example, Cursor AI is one. How do you use Cursor? So you can install Cursor. Cursor has, as in, you can install Cursor and the AI code editor, and it will have some free pricing, as in free credits. Using those free credits, you can actually code, and it will give you suggestions. Okay, and the alternative for this is GitHub Copilot. So if you have VS Code or Codium handy, and you can go to this uh, Copilot, GitHub Copilot. Okay, so the GitHub Copilot, it looks like they don't have an extension in for some reason it's not showing it. But the idea here is, as in, if you create a GitHub account, once you create a GitHub account, we have GitHub Copilot extension, and GitHub. This is the GitHub Copilot, and it does the similar thing as an in-code editor. Okay, so that is the second. That is what you can use, and how does it work? As in, it's simple. Whenever you're writing the code, when you give some instructions, when you give some prompts, it will help you in actually performing or doing a completion. Okay, that's what is there. And we also have also given some of the tools, and as in, for example, let's say you think that, as in, um, there are the proprietary ones. I don't have resources to use it. As in, for example, I don't have money, as in I don't want to spend some money, I want to go for an open source ones, or I'm actually want an open source ones. So we can actually go to the open source alternatives also. All the tools are provided in the presentation. And let's say Hugging Face Chat, right? So again, Hugging Face Chat is an open source Hugging. It's called Hugging Chat. We can use a lot of models here. So for example, Meta Llama, Cohere, DeepSeek. I can use all of these. I can use the system prompt, and once this is saved, I can go ahead and as in, once we say create with an account, it works just like a chat GPT or the Gemini, right? So once we sign in, we can actually go ahead and ask. And the good thing with the Hugging Faces, we also have provision to get the API. Once the API is in place, then we can actually make API calls and do programmatically from via the code, the get the responses and develop a workflow. Okay, and for those people who, which, let's say I'm going to use another tool called Perplexity.ai, or no, and let's go to the one of the open source ones, DeepSeek V3. Okay, so so let's say you don't understand this concept, you don't understand um, uh, what to do, how to get the API and other things, right? So what we'll be doing is we will be using these tools, right? And say that hi, I don't know how to set up the, let's say, Hugging Face API, how to set up Hugging Face or use Hugging Face in my code, as in use Hugging Face in my code. Please help me get help me with the steps to get API access tokens, right? When we, as in, actually ask these kind of questions, it actually gives us a lot of steps, and it's just as simple as we ask the question and we give the context and we get the steps. Once these steps are ready, then we go ahead and use it for our prototyping. That's how simple and easy it is with all these AI tools. And the list of all these tools are provided in this here, as in for video generators, for code editors, for web development, for audio generation. All the tools are given, and this by no means is the exhaustive list of tools. And you can come up, as in, if you know of any other tools, you can go ahead and use those tools also. That's totally fine. Okay, and similarly we have some things for video and audio generation also. And yes, um, all the hyperlinks are given, and you can go ahead and click on this hyperlinks to know more about this tools. And we also have this I'll also brief you about the registration process and how do you get onboarded to code.swecha.org. But before that, we also have one uh, eminent speaker, and thanks for the speaker to actually taking some time to visit us and take their time out of of their busy schedule, right? So just so we have Mr. Pradeep Kumar Jilgam, sir. So he has been the director. He is serving as the director of mobile systems and software at Micron Technologies. Okay, and he has been also instrumental in advancing the mobile system architectures and software solutions. And over to you, sir, Pradeep, sir. And please share your few thoughts for the students on for this hackathon.
Kiran sir, I think it's muted. Could you please? Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Hey, good morning. Very happy to be part of this. Uh, First of all, I want to congratulate all of you on embarking on this journey. Please look at this as the first step, right, in your AI journey over the coming few years of your academic life, professional career, and so on. I mostly work on the system aspects of things, so that's why I just want to uh, introduce one more dimension of AI for you, so that you can start thinking in that direction as well. Generally, we have the tendency of looking at any kind of technology as an end user. but you will be even more effective in your own execution and be able to have an impact in whatever you do, whether in your academic life or in your future professional life. You'll be able to have much more impact if you understand how hardware, software, and everything is coming together. So while you start with understanding how to use this technology as an end user, as an application user, please also start spending time to understand what kind of frameworks, what kind of accelerators, right? What kind of libraries are involved. And as history has proven, functionality earlier used to be the primary requirement, and KPIs like power, performance, thermal, everything was earlier considered as, all these were earlier considered as a secondary set of requirements. But now the KPIs are also as important as this primary functionality. So when we are working on a solution which we want to eventually commercialize, we need to have a very good understanding of the raw performance, the power efficiency, and all those aspects. And you will have a much better understanding and appreciation of these things when you have a decent understanding of the hardware, the software, and the interfacing between these two. And that's what system engineering is all about. On that note, I once again congratulate you on embarking on this journey, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your insights, and especially from the system architecture standpoint. Uh, and I'll quickly take a couple of more minutes, and before opening this session to before opening this session to um, isn't the hackathon thing. Okay, so I will. There are a few steps. The two steps is you create an account on the code.switcher.org. I'll share that how to do it here. As in, your mentors are also there, and faculty, as in, they will be helping you or guiding you. I'll showcase it in the interest of and so that everyone can see and work on it. And two, as in, please ensure that you create an account on Swecha code, and you register yourself as the team on the AI Hack Day portal. And how do you do it? Let me show you. I hope my screen is visible. The AI Hack Day page. Okay, so now this is the portal hackday.aidays.io. So this is the portal wherein you're supposed to submit and register yourself, and you can also have the problem statements. If you don't have any problem statements, or if you are curious in understanding as in what are the problem statements that you can work upon, you can visit this problem statements as in this website, and problem statements, and get all some ideas as to what are the problem statements that can look like. Okay, so yes, and if not, is in additional problem statements are also given on with that information is also present with your mentors. You can have a discussion with your mentors on there also. Okay, and how do we register the guidelines? How do we register? Okay, when you click on register now, the first steps are given here. So you need to go into Swecha code, this website, and let's say I log into this Swecha code website. If I already have an account, please log in with your account. And if you don't have an account, you can either click on register now, or or you can use the link that is already given here, which is again the sign up link. please sign up for yourselves, and you'll get a confirmation email um, on your particular respective emails with which you have signed up. Okay, so once you have signed up, what happens is, let's say, you need to create a repository. Okay, so and set that repository that as an it should be public. Okay, and how do you do it is, um, okay, so as an there will be persons who are actually helping you, guiding you as to how do you create a repository, and it's as simple as going here and creating a repository. The mentors and there will help you create a new repository and everything. Okay, so and in the interest of time, I'll quickly skip that part. Okay, and once you create that repository, you will get a link, and you copy the repository link, and you need to paste that link here. Okay, now your team name, what is your team name, what are your team members names, and email address and contact numbers, what is the college you where are which, what is the college that you are from, and finally the project details, right? The project title, project link, and project description. The project title, please ensure that you in the project title, right, as in please type in your problem statement in the project title, or and the project link, yes, and project description also. You please mention all the problem statement and how you are approaching, and a brief description in at least 50 to 100 words. Okay, and then you click on register team, and your teams will be registered. Okay, if you have any questions, please do reach out to the spokes present there, and they are going to help you. And on that note, thank you everyone. And you can officially start off with the hackathon thing. And happy happy coding, and let's happy hacking.